Joined as we are each and every Sunday by Roch Kubatko. If you don't read Roch, School of Roch on MASNsports.com 7 times a day, you better get around to it. He's got all the information there. We're going to talk first today about a closer controversy, which I kind of chuckled at when I saw what you wanted to talk about first, because the Orioles have the fewest save opportunities in the league. They only have 2. They're 1 out of 2. How about the White Sox? They've had 7 save opportunities, 6 blown saves already. Talk about a closer controversy, but partially I think it's because the Orioles haven't named the closer. So what do you think is going to happen in the near future and down the road?
Yeah, it doesn't take long at all. A couple games, you have the controversy. And, you know, the problem was that Kevin Gregg has not really impressed a lot of people so far, and there are a lot of fans screaming for him to be replaced by Koji Uehara. And there are a couple issues with that. First of all, he's made 4 appearances. He's only been scored upon in 1 of them. He's got a 2.25 ERA, not 22.50, but you would think it was the other way around. Problem is, he has not had a clean outing yet. He had the first one where Nick Markakis had to make the sensational catch for him to avoid the blown save in Tampa. Then you had 2 hits allowed in his next outing, a hit allowed in the one after that, and then, of course, the Jorge Posada home run, the blown save. And that's what's sticking in everybody's heads right now. Plus, I think he made such a bad early impression in spring training. Keep in mind, he had a 10-something or a 9-something ERA down in Florida. He had to throw at the minor league camp a few times. So kind of bad first impression. I think that's carried over into the season in the minds of fans. They want a change made. However, we know that Kevin Gregg is still owed almost $6 million. I'm sorry. I'm switching topics on you here. They're not going to make the change right now. I'm going to Michael Gonzalez next. It's not $6 million. But with Kevin Gregg, Koji Uehara is kind of waiting in the wings, but he was not able to throw him back-to-back games yet. Now he says he can now, so there's a possibility later on he would be an option. He would not be an option right now, though, I don't think. And I don't think Buck Showalter is going to make a major change this early in the season. Kevin Gregg was signed to be the closer. He came here to be the closer, not to be a setup man. So I think it's still too soon, but that leash might be getting a little shorter. And keep in mind, too, I don't know if you heard this today, Minnesota has changed closers already. They went ahead and named Matt Capps as the closer now over Joe Nathan. So there is a precedent. It can be done. I just don't think Buck's going to do it this soon. But what Kevin Gregg needs is to go out there, have a nice 1-2-3 inning, quiet the fans down a little bit, and establish himself, look, I am the closer here, and end this controversy, or it's not going to go away.
Yeah, the Indians and Tampa Bay, the only 2 teams in the American League to not have at least 1 blown save. And you mentioned Nathan. He's blown 2 in the last 3 days. And the other night in Tampa, Minnesota had 2 blown saves in the same game. Nobody's happy about it, but it does happen. The other part of it, too, is Jason Birkin is the only reliever who has pitched in back-to-back games this year, and that's only once. With those 8 guys in the bullpen, they're not getting the regular work. And I got to believe when Gregg gets more work, he's going to be sharper. Now, you brought up Michael Gonzalez, the only lefty in the bullpen. Yes, Michael. Speaking of Michael Gonzalez, the only lefty in the bullpen, but he's really not the prototypical lefty, and he's really struggling with his command early on.
He is, and I know, again, fans are down on him, and they think that it's time to cut ties with him. His ERA is over 10. He is struggling again, but a couple things to keep in mind with Gonzalez, and here's what I referenced earlier. He's still owed almost $6 million, not Kevin Gregg, but Michael Gonzalez. You're not going to eat that kind of a contract now, especially in April. Also, people forget, he was very good over the second half last year. He had a 2.78 ERA in the second half, and it was 1.76 in his first 18 games after he came off the DL. See, the Orioles have seen the good Michael Gonzalez. They think it's still there. And as you said, he's the only lefty in the pen right now. They're looking maybe to add another lefty later, maybe a Clay Rapado or a Mark Hendrickson. They're not looking to subtract one. So right now, he is the guy. The problem is, when can you use him? Because he's kind of that specialty lefty, and you can't really shy away from him, because there are going to be situations when you have lefties coming up or switch hitters that you want to spin around. Well, you have to be able to use him, so you can't shy away from him just because he's struggling. So they're going to have to just kind of wait it out. And again, there really aren't any other options right now. He's the only lefty. They're going to keep throwing him. They know that he is capable of pitching very well. We're just waiting to see that.
Yeah, it was hope that Rapado would make the team out of spring training. He was brilliant the first 2 weeks, and then struggled the second 2 weeks in spring training and is in AAA. Now, the middle of the lineup, Rick and I alluded to it, the power isn't there. And this is one of those things where you look at it and you might say, well, shake it up a little bit, but there's no way Buck Showalter is going to shake up the middle of the lineup because of the veteran hitters with track records.
Right, he's all about track records. He thinks these guys are going to bust out. But, you know, it was easy to kind of overlook the offensive struggles early because the starters in the rotation were giving up 2 runs in 26 innings. We could ignore that. Now that the rotation isn't producing that way and they're struggling so much, there's more attention on, okay, these guys need to score more runs and they're not doing it. As you mentioned earlier, 15 runs scored during this losing streak. They're only hitting 226 during it. For the season, they're only batting 230. They've scored 49 runs. Only 3 teams have scored fewer than that. And a big problem right now, the 3-4 hitters. Derek Lee, Vladimir Guerrero have combined for only 2 homers and 6 RBIs. They were clearly looking for more production. But again, track records, you know it's going to come. Vlad's a career 318 hitter in April, so this is a little unusual for him right now to be batting 259. But they're just not getting that production from the middle of the order, and it's really standing out. And you know, also, they signed these guys, Lee, Vlad, Mark Reynolds, J.J. Hardy before he went on the DL to be better against left-handed pitching, and then you saw what happened in the Texas series. So it hasn't happened yet. But these guys are really too good to maintain like this and to continue to struggle. At least with Lee, you're getting very good defense at first base. He's saved countless errors. With Vlad, it's different. He is the DH. That's designated hitter, which means he has to hit or he's not doing his job. So they need better production from the middle of the order, but I don't think Buck's going to shake things up now. He likes Lee 3, Vlad 4. You just keep running him out there. You trust the track record.
All right, that's Roch Kubatko. Check him out, MASNsports.com, the School of Rock,
I also
each and
make
every
$6
day
million.
and multiple times. Hey, a little bit this way. How about that?